Peace. It's Bronzebird. Before I begin, like and subscribe. So, I just want to do a brief conversation on this subject matter because still a lot of brothers don't get it. A lot of brothers will refuse to understand it and get it, and they still have to operate within the confines of a made-up world that they believe that the so-called black woman is a god. Before I begin, I don't put nobody on a pedestal. I don't believe in idolizations, and brothers are still wrapped up in that whole entire idolization. My reasons for this video is that we have to understand that when you're going ahead and playing the Good Samaritan role with strangers, people that you don't know, it can wind up making you lose your life or getting into some serious trouble. Now, this goes into more of a deeper conversation because then you're like, so when is it appropriate to help a woman, or when is it appropriate to help this, that, and the third? I mean, certain things do call for certain measures. Like, for example, if it's an older woman, regardless of race, regardless of nationality, it seems that she's an elder and, she's struggling with, picking up her bags, or, she's pushing a shopping cart. She needs some help getting in the building. There's no problem with helping that woman. You understand? Same thing you would do for a man, an older man, when you're on a subway or, you're on public transportation, you see a pregnant woman, allow the pregnant woman to have a seat. There's a lot of things you just do out of courtesy, but to play the Good Samaritan role, it just depends on the circumstances. It depends on the situation. And a lot of the times when you analyze these videos about the things that they talk about, where is it coming from? What is the reason why they decide to get into these situations? Usually it's the mother, because I see it is mothers. It's a mother or a girlfriend knowing they're going out with an abusive boyfriend or husband or whatever, and they just sit there, yell at their boyfriend or husband, baby daddy, or whatever you want to call it, yell back and forth, back and forth, and a guy is attempting to put his hands on her. Then, of course, this now goes into the virtual sphere, the virtual world. Brothers that I hear conversations from all the time, then they go ahead and assess this and make this the label mate of saying that that man in particular would be classified as a so-called Pookie and Ray Ray. And my thing about it is if I don't really know you, if you're not really one of the people that I really know, I'm probably not going to help you. If you're sitting there as a woman and you allowing yourself to get hit in public, that probably means that's not the first time it happened. It happened multiple times, and a lot of people in the world is just seeing it. And then you have one of those dudes that's alpha, so he feels as if he has to go ahead and do this. Like I said, I don't believe in playing the Good Samaritan role. If it's none of my business, if I don't know anything about the relationship between the two parties, it's none of my business. I'll sit there and watch. I'll sit up there and be like, wow, that's crazy, and just mind my own business. If you want to step up and be that Good Samaritan, fine, but it causes a lot of problems. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys a video which happened recently, probably the last couple of days, where someone wind up getting hurt on a SEPTA train because of playing the Good Samaritan role, which I think was actually the one that was arguing. It wasn't the one that was propagating, it's something like that. But the guy sat up there and shot him. And the thing about it is that now you got to sit in prison for something that you had no business putting yourself into. You understand? So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna share this video with you guys, and I'm gonna make a commentary on it as it plays. So Pete.
Now to a shooting this afternoon on a SEPTA train platform at Broad and Lehigh. This video from Citizen App shows the platform after the incident as police investigated. They say that a man and a woman got off the train and were arguing on the platform. Another man then intervened on behalf of the woman, and police say he shot the man she was arguing with. That man is now in critical condition. A SEPTA police officer was on the platform and made an immediate arrest.
And what was all that for? A woman that you don't know, a woman that's not your girlfriend or your significant other, and now you're going to get arrested and go to jail for some frivolous thing for carrying a weapon on a public transportation, number one, and number two, using that firearm against a man you don't know. See, this is the problem with a lot of Negroes, because it's nothing more in my mind, and I really hate to say this, I really do. I have a good feeling that this argument in this conversation, quarrel, beef, bicker, whatever it was probably uh, two so-called black men. The so-called black man that was arguing with his woman, and the so-called black man that decided to intervene and play the good Samaritan towards the woman. See, and that thing about it is that then that calls in for jealousy because you want something that you don't have. That's not your woman, that's his woman. They're arguing, you're not. But you want to argue with that man in order to prove to that man, this is what a real man does. Real men don't argue with their women like this out in public. Again, Negro, it's none of your business. It's none of your business to go out there and include yourself into conversations that has nothing to do with you. Now you want to sit up there and throw your life away and throw your freedom away for sitting up there shooting some random guy on the subway. You understand how stupid that looks? And to go over this reminds me of a situation that happened last year or the year before that, where a man died in Harlem, New York, on a platform when an incoming 2 train, he fell into the platform into an incoming 2 train and he died from doing another Good Samaritan work when it came to the whims of a woman, because women were fighting on a platform and this, that, and the third. And he figured, you know what, let me break this up. You're putting yourself in a very dangerous position as men, going ahead and trying to appease the woman's anger towards a man or another fellow woman. Don't do it to yourself, man. You got to think twice before you put yourself in these situations. Like I said, Good Samaritan work or whatever you want to call it calls for certain circumstances. Trivial things and frivolous things like 2 people fighting on a platform and a couple arguing is none of your business. That's probably because they was doing that way before you came into the picture, and it's probably going to do it after you do it. So they'll think twice. They'll be like, I don't want nobody intervening or this, that, and the third, but they probably going to argue again. And you sat there and you had your life wasted just because of the fact of the matter, you wanted to prove a point by trying to be the nice guy. Don't do it, man. So this is a story I'm talking about right here. This was from July 4th, 2020. And so I just want to make this kind of like the last point that I want to make about what's going on in these situations. And this is exactly what I was talking about. The guy that wind up losing his life in Harlem, New York, from an incoming 2 train and being squished between a train and a platform. So Pete.
Break up a fight and ended up dead, killed by an oncoming train in Harlem. It all started with a fight between 2 women and a man when the Good Samaritan tried to step in to help. Naveen Dhaliwal live in Harlem with new developments. Naveen?
Yeah, Sade, police are still searching for that suspect. They say was in a fight with this Good Samaritan. This happened here at the 125th and Lenox Avenue train station. Now, the train station back open at this hour, but it was closed for a few hours after police say a man's good intentions ended up costing his life. A routine subway ride coming to a halt as riders were rushed off the 2 train in Harlem to a horrifying sight.
There was a man with his head and his torso wedged between the train and the walkway.
Commuters shaken as they made their exit.
Half of his body was inside and half of it was, and his head was also inside.
Police say that man was a Good Samaritan trying to intervene in a fight between 2 women and a man at the 125th and Lenox Avenue.
2 women and a man. You got to think about that. Look at how that platform is. That platform is narrow. Any side moves or, you throw a haymaker on someone, they bound to sit up there and go into that track and might hit the 3rd rail. But I tell you, brothers, man, be careful.
Southbound platform this afternoon, an altercation that caused him to fall as the train was approaching.
Oh, God, it was horrible. It was disgusting. Yeah. So it's like, all I want to do now is get some more protection.
The man's injury so grave, he didn't survive.
I saw the plastic bag, the black plastic bag already over him, meaning that he was already dead. That's what everything hit me.
As emergency crews arrived, police closed off the station entrances as riders stared on in disbelief.
It's sad that it happened to him. There's a few people around me that were crying and stuff like that, and you know, like children and stuff like that. It's senseless.
And again, that suspect is still on the run. As far as those two women, investigators say they are cooperating.
So all I gotta say, man, think twice. Peace.